getting narrow, with snakes in the shadow and the shade where you sleep is formed by the gallows where a man with an arrow was hung by the shallow. Little boys, little boys, little boys who became what they feared. Who would have thought that the ones who spoke of trust would come to betray us? Who would have sought love from those who prayed for peace while sowing hate?